The story of Kodak is a tale of innovation and nostalgia, deeply intertwined with the evolution of photography itself. Founded by George Eastman in 1888, Kodak revolutionized photography, making it accessible to the masses. Eastman's invention of flexible roll film was a game changer, replacing cumbersome glass plates and democratizing image capture. The introduction of the Brownie camera in 1900 solidified Kodak's dominance. This simple, affordable camera brought photography to everyday people, turning cherished moments into tangible memories. Kodak's success went beyond technological innovation. The company masterfully cultivated an emotional connection with its consumers. Kodak moments, a phrase coined by the company, became synonymous with life's precious events. From birthdays to graduations, Kodak was there, etching itself into the fabric of American life. For generations, the iconic yellow and red logo evoked feelings of joy, nostalgia, and shared experiences. Kodak wasn't just selling film, it was selling memories. Kodak's dominance in the photographic industry was virtually unchallenged for decades. The company's vertically integrated business model, from film production to camera manufacturing, gave it unparalleled control over the market. Kodak's vast research and development capabilities ensured a constant stream of innovations, further solidifying its position. By the mid-20th century, Kodak had become synonymous with photography itself, its name practically a verb for capturing life's moments. However, the seeds of disruption were sown even as Kodak celebrated its triumphs. The emergence of digital technology in the latter half of the 20th century would challenge the very foundation of Kodak's empire. While Kodak engineers were among the first to develop a digital camera prototype, the company's leadership failed to grasp the disruptive potential of this new technology. This miscalculation would have profound consequences for the photography giant. The advent of digital technology in the late 20th century marked a turning point in the history of photography. While Kodak had enjoyed decades of unrivaled success, the writing was on the wall. The transition from analog to digital was not merely an incremental improvement, it was a fundamental shift in how images were captured, stored, and shared. This technological earthquake would shake the foundations of Kodak's empire. The first tremors were felt in the 1970s with the development of the charge-coupled device, the electronic heart of digital cameras. Kodak's own engineer, Steve Sasson, created a prototype digital camera in 1975, a bulky device that captured images on a cassette tape. This groundbreaking invention, however, was met with skepticism and even fear within Kodak. The company's leadership, deeply invested in the lucrative film business, failed to see digital as a threat, dismissing it as a niche technology. This miscalculation stemmed from a classic case of what I call the innovator's dilemma. Established companies, successful in their own right, often struggle to embrace disruptive technologies. These technologies may initially appear inferior or cater to a small market, leading incumbents to prioritize their existing profitable businesses. By the time the disruptive technology matures and gains mainstream appeal, it's often too late for the established players to catch up. Kodak's leadership fell into this trap. They viewed digital photography through the lens of their existing film-based business model. They saw digital as a threat to their core revenue stream, failing to recognize its potential to create new markets and opportunities. This myopic view blinded them to the seismic shift occurring in the industry they had dominated for so long. Despite the looming threat of digital, Kodak remained tethered to its legacy film business. The company's vast manufacturing infrastructure, distribution networks, and retail partnerships were all built around film. Shifting to digital would require a radical transformation, a prospect that seemed daunting and risky. This reluctance to abandon its comfort zone proved to be a fatal flaw. Kodak's leadership made a series of strategic missteps that further exacerbated its predicament. Instead of fully embracing digital and investing heavily in its development, Kodak attempted to straddle both worlds. The company released its own line of digital cameras, but these were often overpriced and technologically inferior to those offered by emerging competitors. Kodak seemed content to treat digital as a side project, a complement to its core film business, rather than the future of photography itself. This half-hearted approach steadied another way to sell film. They believed consumers would continue to print their photos, albeit from digital cameras instead of film cameras. What they failed to grasp was the transformative power of digital technology to disrupt the entire photographic ecosystem. Digital photography wasn't just about capturing images, it was about sharing them instantly, editing them with ease, and storing them digitally. The rise of the internet and personal computers further fueled the digital revolution, creating a connected world where images could be shared globally with a few clicks. Kodak, however, remained fixated on the physical print, failing to recognize the paradigm shift occurring in how people consumed and shared photographs. As Kodak clung to the familiar, a new breed of competitors emerged, embracing the digital revolution with open arms. Companies like Canon, Sony, and Nikon, unburdened by legacy businesses, were quick to recognize the disruptive potential of digital photography. They invested heavily in research and development, rapidly iterating on their products and driving down costs. These new players understood that digital photography was not just about cameras, it was about creating an integrated ecosystem. They partnered with software companies to develop user-friendly editing software, making it easier for consumers to enhance and share their photos. They collaborated with chip manufacturers to produce increasingly sophisticated sensors, delivering higher image quality and performance. This relentless focus on innovation and customer needs allowed these companies to rapidly gain market share. Consumers, drawn to the convenience, affordability, and ever-improving quality of digital cameras, flocked to these new offerings. Kodak, meanwhile, found itself increasingly outmaneuvered and outpaced. Its once dominant market share began to erode at an alarming rate. The rise of these digital photography giants highlighted the importance of agility and adaptability in the face of technological disruption. While Kodak remained entrenched in its existing business model, its competitors were nimble and responsive, quickly adapting to the evolving market landscape. This difference in approach would prove decisive in determining the fate of these companies.